emotional story-driven content is 22 times more likely to be shared than just like a straightforward fact and info piece. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Video Marketers Vault podcast. For those that are new here, my name is Evan Andrews, and on this podcast, we help you out there, business owners, personal brand people. We want to show you how you can use video marketing to help further whatever it is that your goals are here in 2025 and beyond. And today I have a special guest, Mr. Dan Deleon of Sactown Video, correct? That's the
Yeah.
name of your, okay, Sactown Video. Dan and I know each other through a coaching program. I actually helped kind of mentor him in his early days, and he's done a hell of a job up until this point. Dan, if you'll take a second, let everybody know who you are and what is it you do.
Well, first off, thanks, man. That was an awesome intro. It's funny you said mentor. I feel like you're still mentoring me now. Like I feel like I can still learn from you now. But no, yeah. A little bit about me. I picked up a camera around 2016, 2015 as a hobby. Didn't really do much with it, but I would try to vlog like Casey Neistat and try to be a YouTuber and like okay. I know. But after that, I tried to get into photography, really wanted to focus more on video after that, just because, everyone has everyone's got a phone now. So wasn't making any money, was not charging a lot, was charging $300, $400, $500. I think the most I ever made was like, $800, somewhere around there.
Wow.
And yeah, I know. And yeah, at the time, $800 is like, wow. So that happened. And then, my wife and I, we got married, decided to start a family. And then, I got to make money, right? Got to provide for the family.
Got to do it.
Got to man up. And so, yeah, so I went into trying to taking it more seriously. Sactown Video was the name that I came up with because Sactown is, we were in Sacramento. So Sacramento, Sactown.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. And then, like most people, I struggled, right? And I found a coaching group, luckily, right? Thank God. And so here we are. Met you there, and the rest is history, right?
I love it, dude.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. When did you officially like start your business?
Oh, gosh. Official.
So 2015, 16 was when you started camera work, but like,
Yeah.
officially, like,
I would say, gosh, officially, I think maybe like 2020.
okay,
Yeah.
right around the same time. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're just before
Yeah.
I start. Yeah, so right.
Yeah.
I'm very similar story there.
Yeah.
Cool, dude. So today, what I wanted to speak with you on, because I believe, based on who I know that you have served in the past, whether or not that's kind of changing for you in the future, but today we're talking about video storytelling predominantly and why that's really important. I'm going to go through a few things that I've kind of outlined here, but storytelling for me is like the biggest proponent of where I come from in what it is that I want to do for the clients that I work with. I like telling stories, or I like being able to help other people tell their stories. I even say this in my little video on my website, on my brand film, if you will, that telling your own story is not the easiest thing to do. And over time, you kind of, with no fault to your own or any of us, like we kind of fast track that story because we know it, right?
Yeah.
We just like, we do it. But there's so many people out there that don't know it. And it becomes a hard thing to do. But, I think businesses in particular, because that's who I like to talk to here. Businesses, I don't think they ever really think about why their story is important, right? Like everybody has like an about us page or whatever on their website, but nobody ever really takes the time to tell the story of the business, the why, like why they live and breathe what they do. I think a lot of people, when we talk about video content, businesses, they they just want to sell what it is that they do. They're hoping to get another lead. They're hoping to get another client, another customer. Um, but I want to ask your take on that in terms of like
Yeah.
storytelling and why you think most businesses get it wrong.
Well, I think storytelling for me, it boils down to I was this one way, and then I changed something or something happened, and then now I am different somehow.
Yeah.
Um, and I think like when it comes to storytelling, specifically about like who you are as a business owner and your brand, it's it's simply that, right? Like even for my story, right? You mentioned that sometimes people fast forward through a lot of things, and even when I just introed myself, I fast forwarded a lot. I just did, and there were many things. Like for example, right? One thing is, my wife and I, we had our son, and so I didn't want her to work. I wanted her to
Mm,
be the stay at home mom, and she still is a stay
yeah.
at home mom. So
Yeah.
for me, like that thing changed me and us, and so I knew that I had to make more money. I had to provide, and so I really desperately needed to grow this business, and I left that out completely in the intro.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
now that you know that, don't you feel a little bit closer to me now?
Of
you know,
course, right?
and so
That's
that's storytelling right there. Like that's I don't know. Yeah.
yeah, no, and I think like especially the businesses that I've ever encountered or look like because what do we do when we're like prospecting outside of like running our own lead generation campaigns for ads or
Hmm.
whatever? Like we're
Yeah.
looking at what other people are doing
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
prospective people that we can approach. And it's like you go to their website and it's just like they might still have some like who we are or whatever, but
Yeah.
it literally like I can't remember. I think I did it with a roofing niche or whatever. I was doing
Hmm.
some analysis of just like websites, their language, and like literally two blurbs were 75% the same thing. It was just like
Yeah.
structured out a little bit different. I'm like, there's no differentiator here of like why I should go with you versus you. And I
Yeah.
wouldn't know until I actually get on the phone with somebody. And then at that point, what am I drawn to? I'm drawn to the person.
Yeah.
But I can get a lot of that out of the way by telling a story or a video or something on that website for me
Yeah.
to be able to make a better choice for myself as a consumer for what it is that I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
And I just don't think they take the time to really think about that and why that's important.
Hmm. Yeah.
But I know that you previously or still possibly work with lawyers, and I can
Hmm.
think are kind of shifting a little bit of your focus there. But
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about how you infuse storytelling in what it is that you do with your clients.
Yes. So I primarily have been working with attorneys and law firms.
Hmm.
I've slowly been branching out, right, and expanding my services to like home services, service-based businesses, but particularly with attorneys and law firms, and really any industry, any niche that you'd like to work in. Um, I primarily use storytelling with testimonials. I think
Yes.
testimonials are going to be huge because, again, if we're looking at attorneys, right? They were in a car accident, for example, and then they're talking about the accident. They're talking about what happened specifically. They're talking about the pain and suffering that they're in currently, right? And then they find this law firm, right? They find these people who genuinely care about their well-being and who genuinely care about them, losing essentially their life, not their life, but their way of living, right? And then now they help them settle the case or get the compensation that they deserve, right? So that whole thing, that whole storyline of I was this way, then this happened, and now who I am now have changed. I mean, that's a great testimonial. That once people are making that buying decision in your business or any business, they need to see that testimonial to know that they could see themselves in that person. They know like, oh,
Hmm.
okay, like that's where I'm at. I'm suffering right now. I'm in pain. And so if I choose this business or this service provider or whatever, I will get this outcome. And all you
Yeah.
did was show them a video that just walks them through that. So that's how I
Yeah.
utilize it for my clients.
Yeah, for sure. I'm the same exact way. Like testimonials are like one of my cornerstones of a lot of the packages that I
Yeah.
deal with.
Yeah.
But it's that emotional draw, like you mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like
Mm-hmm.
that's the power of how that sells without you getting up. And you've probably heard me say it before, but it's the used car salesman syndrome that I kind of think that a lot of, even whatever kind of business that you are, right? If you're trying to do content for yourself, whether it be just like social stuff or whatever, they all kind of just do the same thing of like, this is who I am, this is what I do, this is who I help, and if you need help, call us today. And half the time there's not even a phone number around for them to find it,
Yeah.
right? But having that story-based narrative from somebody that's not the person that we know is trying to sell us on something,
Yeah.
that to me is the key that unlocks like a decision that I could make for myself, and I know that it's the right thing because I saw myself in that other individual.
Yeah.
And I think they're just crucial, and I think it is one of the easiest ways to tell stories. But even for like, I'll say like your law firm, examples, right? They have so many stories, like they could
So
do like
many.
almost like a self-guided, like I had this one client that XY, like obviously you can't divulge certain things, but like that would make great talking head, just social content
Oh
for
yeah.
them to be like, yeah, I had this one client that came in and they did this, and
Yeah.
we uncovered that and whatever. And they can kind of self-guide through those transformations as well.
Yeah.
But I don't even think that they really think about doing that. They just think about like maybe jargon or not, like trying to educate, and that stuff is great too, right? But they can utilize the story aspect of things to really get people on that emotional trigger level where we
Yeah.
want them to be,
No,
right?
for sure. And I have some metrics behind that because one of my
Oh, sweet.
clients who was working with, I mean, the views, likes, and shares and impressions all went up when he talks about his clients, his own clients.
Mm,
And
yeah.
obviously I tell them, remove all the, the what do you call it, like the names and the genders and all that stuff, like just for privacy stuff. But when they talk about clients that they've helped and how much money that they've helped them get because of the settlement, those always go up, those views, because those are
Yeah.
true stories, they're real
Yeah.
cases. And a lot of the times it's crazy, especially with attorneys, like the things that they see or hear in court, or just the type of cases that it's kind of ridiculous. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean that really helps in terms of metrics, and people are going to watch that, and they're going to watch it from the start all the way till the end.
No, yeah. I mean, I have a little blurb here from Forbes that I put in my notes, but it kind of ties to what you were just saying. That emotional story driven content is 22 times more likely to be shared than just like a straightforward fact
Yeah.
and info piece,
Yeah.
right? So, I mean, the fact that I can say that from their thing, and then you've got also the data to prove that too.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. But for me, it's mostly for me about like, it's that just relatability.
Yep.
Or like, how can I relate? How can I get somebody that I want to be a client or a customer or whatever? How can I get them to relate to what it is that I can do for them?
Mm-hmm.
And we all know, like, I can sit up here all day and beat my chest about everything, but they're not going to necessarily always relate with me and information that I'm saying. They're always going to relate with somebody that looks like them
Yep.
or sounds like them or was in that particular situation. And for me, that's what it's all about. Is it just how can I relate
Yeah.
to the people that I'm trying to reach the most, whether it's me or a customer of mine.
Yeah. No, for sure.
But storytelling too, what I think it helps more than anything is I think that it helps the brand overall, right? Because of how many different ways you can infuse storytelling into video content that helps move the brand forward. Again, testimonials, redoing stories through the lens of the business owner or whatever to be able to sell them for like short form content or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Brand videos, like we kind of mentioned, on somebody's website, to just be able to tell the story of why now, why, how, like what they're doing.
Yeah.
Right. And those are, again, big 3 cornerstones of packages that I know you and I both offer to people.
Yeah.
But just, I guess with the lawyer aspect of it, how have you seen the impact of of that on their brands specifically.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, it's funny. So one of the things that you've helped me with is ads, right? So
Mhm.
and you could chime in on this too, but I think testimonials and storytelling within testimonials is really good for
Mhm.
retargeting ads. And
Mhm.
I think that's helped too, especially not just with lawyers, but again, the other clients that I'm working with who are more service based. When someone sees their ad, they get exposed to it, right? And maybe they may not make that buying decision right away, right? But if we retarget them a testimonial, and in that testimonial is a story of someone that, you know, they their AC went out or something, and then they hired this HVAC company, and then now because they were so fast and efficient, not only did they have this new AC unit in their house, this new HVAC company that helped them, but they also get a rebate, right? So they get some tax benefits. So again, it's just using the testimonial as a retargeting ad to those people. It's going to help them make that buying decision and to build that trust, right? Because like you said, they're going to see themselves in that. They're going to
Mhm.
understand it, especially with video. So I bring that up because that's ultimately going to help your business. Because sorry, one other thing, you were talking about how a lot of these businesses, they have the same thing on their website, just like everyone else.
Yes.
So think about that too. And this is a sales question right here. So if you're looking like everyone else, how do you feel? How do you think that your prospect views you?
Just like everybody else.
Just like everyone else, right?
There's no
And
yeah, there's no differentiator
nothing.
in in what helps them make that right decision.
Yeah.
But if you have again, I love that's why I love selling brand films because it's like
Yeah.
everybody needs one. Like
Yeah.
as much as they're as much as they might not be this like end all be all you like I
Mhm.
say like a useful tool. It is a useful tool, but it's not like an ad where you can say like we got X leads out of it because
Yeah.
sometimes we don't always know that that video was the thing that made
Mhm.
them fill out the form on the website
Yeah.
or take that next step. You only know by asking, right?
Right.
If
Right.
you ask, "Hey, what made you fill out the form and get in
Yeah.
touch?" "Oh, I saw the video on your," and then you can make a note in that in your CRM and figure out like, yeah,
Yeah.
they watched the video and we know that that got us
Mhm.
X, Y, and Z, right? But even with brand films, like depending on how you do them, like because everybody has their own style and technique, I think.
Yeah.
Um, I am more of a documentary type, um, the way that I go about making mine, and they can get kind of lengthy, right? Like
Mhm.
I did one for an HVAC client.
Mm.
We interviewed him, one of his employees, his wife and daughter, and like as a dual, and then his two sons as a dual. So we had 4 total interviews
Wow.
inside of that brand film. That thing ended up being like 11 minutes long, but it
Wow.
was a really good story. Like it painted the whole picture of where he started, where he came from, the people that he's helped along the way through relationship, like everything, right? Um, but some people will do like really short ones. Like they'll do like a little minute
Yeah.
and a half, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and that's can be just as impactful and just as important as well.
Yeah.
I go for the viewing experience on mine. I like to make mine a little bit more immersive, but mine
Yeah.
usually come around the 5 minute as the sweet spot.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm really able to tell a story inside of that. Sometimes you try and put yourself in this box of, oh, I got to make my brand films 3 minutes or whatever. It's like, okay, well, then you
Mm.
might fast track the story and then it doesn't really make the impact like we
Yeah.
actually want it to. But, um, but yeah, brand films are great because almost 90% of the world needs them.
Yep.
Um, Most businesses, especially service businesses out there, they just don't have any of that impactful website content like they need. And all of them rely on their websites to generate leads because what are they doing? Most of them SEO,
Yep.
Google PPC or Bing PPC or whatever, right?
Yep.
And if they're heavily reliant on that that destination as their traffic source, we got to put stuff there to make the traffic do the thing we actually want them to do.
Yeah. Convert.
So it's why I love selling them because it's like you need it. Like I don't even have to sell you on why you need it. Like you literally need it. So,
Mhm.
um, but yeah, I mean, brand stories, testimonials, and then using story within short form on social are like the three main players for me in everything that I do. I don't like, and
Yeah.
you can tell me if you like doing this crap, but every time somebody's like, oh, I want to do like the little trend stuff. Like most people don't, but I have had people that are like, oh, can we do like the whatever. And I'm just like, I just kind of scoff at that stuff because I don't personally think that it really does all too much.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I kind of, and you could tell me your play on this, and my dog is barking right now, so sorry for that. So I look at people who are heavily invested in maybe doing consistent video content, right?
Yeah.
And they have a good, I know they have a good videographer. They have people that can do the thing for them because I see it on their social, but I see them doing a lot of that like trendy stuff.
Yeah.
And it gets me down because it's just like, I just don't know that stuff's really doing much for you. I mean, yeah, you might get some views and whatever, but if you're a local business, what does it matter if man in California or man in Illinois or man in I'm in Texas. So it's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
what does it matter if they all see my stuff? It doesn't.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what your take is on like the trendy stuff, but I personally hate it.
Yeah. I think it depends on what the goal is for the business. Like if their goal is to just put out some content there and get some more engagement, right? Some vanity metrics, then if that's the goal and that's your metric for success, then go for it, right? Sometimes though, that stuff, the metrics, the vanity metrics, it doesn't necessarily lead to leads. Doesn't necessarily lead to the bottom line, which is making more money for the business. It's kind of like and that stuff is great content. It's organic, right? I don't have any hate or love towards it. I think it's just a means to an end. Like I think it's, I've seen a lot of people who are successful that do that stuff. So for me, it's no hate on my end. I think it just really depends on the goal of the business. But going back to storytelling, you can't really tell a story sometimes with those trendy stuff. It's fleeting.
Right.
It's fleeting. I see a lot of like, for example, like dealerships, right? They'll do like memes and stuff. Like there's like a really like fast guy running, and then the caption is POV, like when you see someone step onto the car lot, and then this is the salesperson and he's like running really fast. It's like a meme. Again, it's funny, right? But it's just.
But does that make you want to click on their content and go see what cars they have for sale?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. No, it doesn't. And so that's where story truly comes into play here. Going back to story is that, when you have a story talking about maybe the owner of the dealership, or maybe again a testimonial of a couple, a family man who bought a minivan, right? I'm all about minivans. I'm really embracing like the dad stuff. But like just like having that story of someone who needed a bigger car, or needed a certain type of car for their family, and they got it at this dealership, and now they're happy. Now they have the perfect minivan for their family. I think that's going to entice more people to actually go to the dealership than like some meme trendy dance move thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, yeah. I totally agree with that. It's kind of like it's the same kind of thing. I said this on another episode before, but it's kind of like billboards, right? Like billboards, they're there and they kind of have their purpose. But like, when's the last time you saw a billboard and we're kind of like, I need to do that thing, right? Like you really don't. So it's like, I do agree with you. Yes, if the idea for the business owner or the business at all is like, if their metric of success for social is how many views does my content get, then maybe it makes sense to sprinkle it into the strategy in some way, shape, or form. Yeah. But I think as, I don't want to say salesmen, but as strategists, right? It's our job before they even become clients of ours to really frame them as to, or have them frame themselves onto why is that important to you, right? Because if they believe that it's important, and then we say, okay, great. Well, we can do that and we can
Yeah.
deliver you views and we can do all that. And then what happens? Nothing comes out of it, likely. And then they get mad at us anyway. Like, I think we'd be doing them a disservice by selling them something just because they quote unquote wanted it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So, but dude, that kind of brings us to the end of this episode. I greatly appreciate you giving me your take and actually insight, because you've done it before with storytelling, on how you've done it with your clients and how that's kind of worked for them. But Dan, I'll let you kind of let people know real quick. I'll put this all in the description as well, but let people know service areas, where they can find you, how they can get a hold of you if they're looking for some help from you.
Yeah, for sure. Again, my name's Dan Deleon. My company is at Sactown Video, so you can find me on Instagram. I think that's the best place. My website is like still geared towards law firms, so I have to update that. But if you just look me up on Instagram and follow me there, that's pretty much where everything is. Yeah, and thank you again for having me on.
Yeah, dude, not a problem at all. Again, if you want to get in touch with Dan, learn more about what he's got going on, I'll put all that stuff in the description and show notes down below this one. But if you guys got to the end of this episode, greatly appreciate it. Make sure that you go subscribe. I know that we're early on in this venture, but it is my goal to get you guys a new episode every week, and then sprinkle out everything in between the weeks so that you guys can get all caught up on what it is that we're doing here. So, again, Dan, greatly appreciate you coming through. And until next time, we'll see you guys later. Peace out.